So the problem here is number one is Nerlens Noel. Okay, you got to be in a defensive stance right now. All right, I don't care where you are on the floor, but you got to be in a defensive stance with your feet set. All right, because you're gonna have to stop the ball at some point. Killian Hayes needs to come over here and backside help, and he does. But Nerlens Noel's got to stop the ball at some point. And trust your backside help. You have multiple backside defenders, but Nerlens Noel is just backpedaling and backpedaling. I mean, that's just too easy. Okay, if you're Bogdanovich here, stop. You've got to do whatever you can. You got to avoid Valanciunas. You got to go over because Noel's dropping. He's in drop coverage. You can't run into this screen and then go under because you can't. That's just not how drop coverage works. Down screen right here. You can't just not defend it. Get attached, arms out so this player can't curl. See, you let this player curl, so look at the space now. You have no chance of guarding this screen. Awful transition defense. Now, Jaden Ivey, we can't see in the frame, but he should not be just standing in the middle of nowhere. Look at Jaden Ivey. Like, what are you doing? What are either of these players doing? Nerlens Noel, one of them. You got to go find a player to guard in transition. Okay, so this is a bad switch. Jaden Ivey is late to switch here. Okay, so just because you're late doesn't mean that you can jog. You've got to sprint over here so Nerlens Noel can come back up here. Nerlens Noel is currently helping you. See, look at Jaden Ivey. That is not enough urgency in getting back to push Noel back up. Okay, so the Pistons are obviously trapping Valanciunas here. Okay, so Jaden Ivey, when this pass gets made here, is coming here. As soon as that pass gets made, this player's got to come back because this player's coming here. Okay? Like, you know, so Ivy comes there, that player's still standing. That can't happen. You got to be in a defensive stance with your feet set. This player's not in a defensive stance. Look at this. Not even close. So now you're not going to get out in time. So it's just rip and go. The screen is getting set. Bogdanovich has got to get over here. All right? If your feet are set, you're in a defensive stance, and this skip pass is made, you can recover. But this no longer becomes a skip pass once this pass gets made. Now this player here and this player here are one pass away. Where is Killian Hayes getting back to? You're just getting back to the middle of nowhere. Get to a body. You're just going to an abyss of nothingness. Okay, if you're guarding the ball, the only concern you have is the ball. This does not concern you. You can scram switch it. You can bring a backside help defender. I don't know. But if you look at this Pistons player, he's not even seeing the ball. So if you're Jaden Ivey, you turn the ball over here. Stop. You cannot be complaining about a kick ball during a live ball. You got to sprint back. Wait for a dead ball to do that. Look at Jaden Ivey. Like, what? This now happens because of that. If you're Nerlens Noel, you can never be comfortable with Valanciunas anywhere near the paint. You got to get up right now and battle for real estate, initiate contact. Because look if you don't do that, look who's going to. It's going to be Valanciunas, and now he's got you sealed. Okay, so Bogdanovich here really should not be going towards the ball. He's behind the ball. Go this way. Killian Hayes has got to guard the ball here, okay? And you got to get in a defensive stance with your feet set in doing so. Like, that doesn't happen. Okay, so you double Valanciunas right here, all right? So, again, rotating. So, Jaden Ivey rotates. This player rotates. Saddiq Bey has got to come up here now because this player's got to fly here. I mean, so one rotation, two rotations, not the third. Okay, if you want to switch both these screens, it should already be done. Like, Bogdanovich needs to get up here now, okay? So that when the Pistons switch the second screen, he can guard Valanciunas immediately. See, look at when the Pistons decide to switch right now. Communication's too late. There's no one to take Valanciunas. So what does that mean? Now Valanciunas easily has Killian Hayes sealed, so Bogdanovich has got to worry about that, and in the meantime, Trey Murphy's open. All right, you double Valanciunas. Again, you got to rotate. So this player here, here, here. All of these rotations happen on this first pass out here. But as you can see, that is far from what goes on. Okay, so the Pistons double and Saddiq Bey rotates. The problem is Saddiq Bey is going to gamble and not just play defense. Hamidou Diallo's off balance right now. That's off balance. Okay, so you're not going to be able to guard McCollum here. Okay, so that means that Killian Hayes has got to come in here and get into the gaps. You got to get your feet set in a defensive stance, like Hamidou Diallo should have prior to this. All right, so now Diallo's got to get up and force. If Killian Hayes is in a defensive stance with his feet set, he can stunt to get the dribble picked up out there and recover. But again, Diallo's out of position. This is not worth even talking about. That switch, so Bogdanovic came up to switch. Look at this. This can't be how you're guarding CJ McCollum right now. Get in a defensive stance. This is not a defensive stance. Look at your feet. So look at your first move is just to backpedal when CJ McCollum doesn't go anywhere because you're off balance, because you're not a defensive stance. So you're cooked. If you're trapping, your backside help has got to be ready. So if Killian Hayes is coming to trap right now, stop. This player can't be standing here. That's why you can't just do this willy-nilly. This player's got to come up here. All right, this player's got to slide in here and can kind of roam the baseline with these two Pelicans players. But you just can't let this pass get made off of a trap. This Pistons player here, why are you going towards the ball beyond half court? In transition, you're always sprinting back. Just get back, and then you figure things out later. But you go towards the ball, so we just lost you in numbers. If you want to be in the gaps away from the ball defensively, you have to be in a defensive stance with your feet set. This Pistons player's neither. Look at this. His feet aren't set, so look at this. Now you have no chance of getting out. Like, you're still standing there as this ball's about to go into your man's hands. So you're done at that point. Okay, it's the same thing. First of all, Bogdanovic does not need to be this far low. Your man Najee Marshall's out here. So you can still be in the gaps and be up the line. That gets you closer to your man. But again, look at Bogdanovic. Not in a defensive stance. Feet are not set. So again, this ball's in the air and you have not even taken one step to Najee Marshall. Okay, if you're Jalen Duren here, stop. You cannot just be staring at the ball. You got to see Valanciunas, because as Valanciunas comes through, you've got to initiate contact and battle for real estate. See, all you're doing is just staring. You might as well be in the stands at this point. Okay? Because now Valanciunas comes in and gets an easy offensive rebound. Okay, so now the Pistons come double again on Valanciunas. But once Valanciunas passes out, you can't relax. Like, this player here's got to stay on Valanciunas. Battle for real estate. Initiate contact. See, look at this Pistons player. Not doing any of that. So now he's just catching the ball, and you have no chance. This is unbelievable. I mean, I swear this is not a replay. So again, Valanciunas throws the ball out. Stop. You got to get into his jersey now. Battle for real estate. Initiate contact. Because if you don't, look who does. It's Valanciunas now. See? Now he's got you sealed. And it's just catch, and you have no chance again.